The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
I swear, like the shadow.
Welcome to Easily Entertainment, where we stay easy all the time, 24/7. My name is Chris. My guest today is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Jeff Landis himself. How you doing?
Doing all right. So you just hijacked my show.
Always. You know how I do it.
Right? Man, it feels weird to be on the other side of things, because again, I'm normally on the desk. But but before we get to that, I want to say something. Now, my life is kind of like, man, I'm trying to explain this without, I'm not really saying anything bad about something, but I've been wanting to get this on my chest. I've talked about it on my show before. So my life kind of feels like the 90s.
Yeah.
You're thinking why? So I'm not going to name the establishment that I go to. Well, yeah, but anyways, I talked about this before on the show. I'm kind of nervous about doing it. I shouldn't be. So back in the 90s, I used to have a big crush on somebody in high school. Mm-hmm. You know, I've talked about it on the show in the past, but I'm not going to bring her name up again. So a place that I establish, there's a person that looks exactly like that person. I mean, the exact looks, attitude, and everything. And you know, with me being with somebody, I'm not gonna obviously try to go for it.
Right.
But it's just weird, because it seems like my life was like the 90s, because like it's high school all over for me, because it's like a carbon copy of the same person, and I'm like, wow. Right. So again, like I said, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not trying to risk anything, because I'm not risking anything. It's just I want to get this on my chest, because it's weird, because I'm like, okay, my past is gone, but why is my past coming back at me, but with a different person with the same looks,
right,
and the same attitude? So it's like, here's the kicker: they have the same exact last name.
Oh wow.
They're not related, but I'm like, wow. But again, I'm not saying I'm doing anything wrong, because I'm not. I'm just saying I'm feeling, because it feels like the 90s.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this person rejected me back then, but yet this person that looks like the same person, and, you know, I mean, part of me that wants to risk, but again, I don't want to risk. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to, because I'm not going to risk my whole life crumbling down if I get a no.
Right.
But it's just, it's weird. I just wanted to bring that out. I wanted to, again, I'm not going to do anything, but it's weird on how I'm in my 40s now. And when I was at high school, the person looked the exact same person as the same, you know, they're different people. But it's like, why are you effing with me?
Right.
It's like, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. But I'm not mentioning any names or anything. It just feels like high school. I'm like, so I'm not saying anything wrong.
All right, you're not.
I'm not saying I'm going to do anything wrong either, which I'm not. But it's like, I just don't get it. I just want to get that off my chest. There. I feel a little bit better about
Feel
that.
better?
A little bit, but yeah, but it's weird. But I'm not doing too bad, man. Again, doing the Jeff Landis show again. I figured, you know, because we did a Dose of Landis. The Dose of Landis was really, really good. I mean, everybody's like, well, the best projects you've done was either you singing or the wrestling shows. My opinion is when we did the whole celebrity thing.
Right.
Because we had some mad celebrities on for a little local TV show. We had some mad celebrities
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Because we weren't planning on having celebrities on. I mean, we had Dan Severn. Dan Severn was our major one that we got to. But speaking of that, we got a guy that's going to call him on Facebook. Because obviously with us moving things around, we don't have the speaker to do a live call-in. But we have another guest, Brent Brooks. You remember Brent, don't you, for when we filmed over at Dan Severn's event thing? God, Dan did a lot for us.
Oh, yes, he did.
He did a lot for us. I owe him a lot. I actually texted him yesterday. He hasn't responded back to me yet. But he's a busy man.
Oh, yeah, he stays busy. You know it.
Yeah, the guy that we're going to have on is Brent Brooks. We're going to be doing it via Facebook call. We give him the thumbs up. I hate thumbs up. You right there, you do it in the control room. You do it a lot. I understand you're busy. At least you don't put K. But speaking of this guy gave me the thumbs up, so I'm about to give him the thumbs up. Let him know about ready. So we're going to have Brent Brooks via Facebook Messenger. And he's going to talk about what he's been up to, and he's going to eventually come up on the show. It's crazy. Like I said, we were talking about technology before, how on our phones we didn't have this stuff. I mean, we got easy access to make phone calls to people and get video chat and voice chat and text, and then we could like have them on the show instantly like that. Mm-hmm. Like I could just sit there and text somebody and, hey, we're on. By the way, I'm going to throw this out. I hate video chat. I hate video chat unless it's the boys. If you're going to video chat me, let me know in advance because I could be either sleeping in the bathroom or don't want to be bothered. That's for anybody.
1 out of the 4 of those.
Yes. Just to hit me up, make sure that you're ready. Okay, I just give the guy the thumbs, so hopefully he'll respond to me. We'll just go on until he gives me the thumbs saying, okay, let's go. But no, man, I want to make this into a business.
All right.
And I want to turn this into a show. I mean, people's like, Jeff, you need to work on your equipment, which I do. I got 2 cameras. I got friends gave me. I got one for Christmas, and I need to work on that. But again, I'm afraid of the next step, man. Because again, I want to learn how to edit. Because again, I don't always want to depend on Wesley and Rose and them because they got their own things they got to do. Because if they cancel, then I'm going to be upset sometimes. But again, I cancel on them. But again, like I said, it's understandable.
Right.
I don't cancel unless it's an emergency or unless something really, really bad happens. And, like I said, I don't want to always depend on them because they got their own lives. And I don't want to annoy the hell out of Wesley. We love Wesley. He's like a little brother. I'm sure he annoys us, but we annoy him. It's a both situation, but it's all out of love. Again, I don't always want to depend on them because they got doctor's appointment. They got their lives they got to do. Again, we're all family. We all work together. But again, you guys have your lives, right? You guys want to work your lives. You guys don't want to be like, oh, Jeff wants to do this, you want to do that. And, I want to work with a crew that doesn't talk bad about people behind their backs because there's a lot of backstabbing that I see around. And we're adults. I mean, if we don't like somebody, just tell them. If somebody's doing something wrong, we all should be.
Say something.
We all should be like, hey, you know what, Jeff, I don't want to do this. Okay, cool. I may be upset for a couple of days, but I'll get over it. Right. But again, we all have conflicting schedules sometimes. We got to do what we got to do. Again, like I said, I love you guys. I want to have you part of the crew as long as we survive, as long as we want to. But again, like I said, sometimes you guys are busy and you're doing your thing. I don't want to bug you because, again, things happen. Like I said, I rarely cancel on anything. And, like I said, things happen. So, like I said, I love you guys and I always want to work with you guys. But, sometimes we got to expand out to do different things with different people. Another thing I want to talk about, too, Wes, you're going to agree with me on this. So I'm going to be shooting from the hip. I'm shooting from the hip, not holding back. So hopefully you guys aren't mad at me for what I just said because it's the truth. I don't want you guys to be like, oh, I don't want to work together because I do want to work together. But again, we can't always work together because conflicts with schedules always happen.
Yep.
Again, I got a life. I work. I got kids. And you guys got doctor's appointments. You got to take care of what you got to take care of. And I get that completely. That's why I love working together with you guys because we all work together as a family. I don't say anything bad about you guys. You guys don't say anything bad about not to my knowledge. I try to talk up to everybody I work with, anybody I try to work with, I try to talk up to them. I don't like to talk bad about people behind their back because by the end of the day, somebody's going to find out.
Yep.
I learned if you talk bad about somebody behind their back, they will find out.
Mm-hmm.
And I told one of my ex-friends, Eddie Griswold, that. Because he's like, oh, no, man, I never talk ass about you. I never said this. And I'm like, dude, I know a lot of people. And I find out things. There's phones. There's people that like to talk. Now, you realize when you badmouth somebody, you talk bad about somebody, they will find out, because some people will sit there and let you know, hey, this person said this about this person, because they don't like how you're disrespecting that person. Again, everything is about respect. I respect everybody I work with. I try to show as much love as I can and dedication to them as I do to anybody else. Make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that and you don't show that, then there's no point of working together. You can't work in a toxic environment. You know, there's days where I don't get my way with stuff, but I don't throw fits. I'll just move on. We got to move on from things. We're adults. Got to move on and have fun. Granted, I'm always down to business and I go home after I do, but you know, we got to have fun. I think I got the thumbs. Oh, Alex McDonald. Okay. Check out Culture Shift, by the way. But like I was saying before, I'm still waiting for him to hit me up. But you know, we're all adults. We should all get along and be friendly to each other. Because again, another thing too, Chris, that scares me to death. I just said the word. Death.
Yeah.
Life is short. Like, I could walk out of here, I could either get shot, get ran over by a car, or just die of a heart attack. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But that's why we need to appreciate each other. You know, like we talked about in the last show. Sorry if I'm going on a preacher rant. I know you got questions for me, but I'm just going on this rant. You know, some people are made to like people. Some people are made not to like people. And if you don't work with certain people, be like, hey, I don't work with people, just tell them. Like, there's a certain producer that I'm not going to name names, that's now started. Now, when we first started, we had structure. I mean, a little bit of structure on how to do shows. Because I think Eric was the coordinator for us back then.
I believe so.
Eric was our coordinator. Eugene does a kick-ass job, by the way. But Eric was our coordinator. And Eric was like, okay, this is how you do a show. You call your crew, make sure you have your ideas written down, make sure you have a show structure. Now, we got this new producer that's starting. It's annoying as hell. You guys know I'm going, right, Wes? I see Wesley back there giving me the thumbs, and Rose is like, yep. I'm not going to name any names. Now, you learned when you do a show, you got to have structure. You can't be all
here, there, everywhere, all over.
You can't be like that puzzle.
No.
So, you know, it's like, I'm not perfect. I'm not the perfect producer. I've learned. I've done shows where, like, this new guy that's now starting, I've done shows like what he's done before. So I didn't know what I was doing. But then you learn in the process. You have to treat your crew with respect. You got to know their boundaries. So it's like, you know, back then we had structure with our stuff. I mean, I'd be willing to help out and teach some classes about structure. Again, like I said, I don't think I'm better than anybody. Yeah, I have a successful TV show, but I don't think I'm better than anybody. Back then, I had an ego and I didn't give two craps about anything. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
But now that I'm older, when me and Chris were helping Wesley out doing the show the other day, I was like, Chris, man, you know what? We've had our time in the spotlight. Why don't we give it to somebody else? I'd be willing to give my spotlight to somebody else. But again, it's that drug.
The adrenaline rush.
And yeah, the adrenaline rush. Like Rose said yesterday in the chat that we were talking about, she's like, you know what, Jeff, I'd rather be in front of the camera. Because when she's in front of the camera, you're comfortable, am I correct? You're comfortable, you feel like you're at home. So, you know, like I said, you know, you just got to respect your boundaries of your crew.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, even with me, because, heck, when I started back in 98, I was comfortable behind the camera. Now, I'm comfortable behind the camera, I'm comfortable in front of the camera. So, both ways, I'm good.
Yeah, dude, you were shy as hell when I first met you.
Yeah, now it's just, I will say that, and you know, now it's just to the point where you just can't get me to stop talking, I keep.
Yeah, I mean, Chris was shy, but now he opened up. But speaking of guys, again, like I said, I'm not trying to interrupt you because again, Brent, we all know Brent's coming on. Well, via Facebook, he just gave me the thumbs. So by the way, if I see a thumb, I'm automatically gonna say you're hitchhiking. Exactly. Go ahead, do it again, Chris. Yeah, if I see a thumb, I mean you're hitchhiking. So please, just, if we do a video chat or if we do some kind of group chat, don't say the word K or thumbs, unless you get a smart ass reaction back. But all right, I'm gonna get a hold of Brent real quick. So, like I said, this is off the fly. If this is, yeah, like I said, we go with the flow with shows. I feel like a preacher. I'm Brother Jeff. I'll get on that subject here pretty soon too. Two things I will not touch real quick: religion and politics. That's all I'm gonna say. Could you talk about some ideas that you got coming up while you try to do this thing going on?
Ideas for me or you?
For you, plans for you.
Well, I know, like for me, mentally, gonna end up getting a podcast together.
Sweet. Sorry, Chris. Hey, what's up, Brent?
What's going on, man?
How much are you doing?
I'm doing.
Doing. Just like the LL Cool J song, you're doing it. But business-wise, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So what have you been up to, man? If you guys remember Brent, he's been on Dos Landis. How many times have you been on the show?
At least, I'd say 4 or 5 times, maybe more.
Yeah. Brent has been a really good friend of mine. He does stuff from medical. He does professional wrestling. He did MMA. I don't know if you're still doing MMA. He's working with Danny B. Severin. I got connected through Brent, through Danny B. Severin, and Terry Hakes. Do you remember that?
I do. As far as MMA, I'm not really competing at the moment, but I'm still training mixed martial arts and instructing defensive tactics from time to time. So, but I may do one last hurrah as far as MMA. I'm just not sure when and where yet.
Sweet. So what do you got going on? You said you have some projects coming on. Like I said, you can't give out prices of tickets, but you can just let us know what's going on. You know the rules of how the station is. You've been here before.
Yes. As far as what's going on, I have my hands in a number of things, but we'll start with professional wrestling. I have a show coming up in April 23rd for PWK, which you're probably familiar with, Pro Wrestling King.
Yeah, I've worked with a lot.
That will be in Culver, Indiana. Not too far from Plymouth, Indiana, if you're familiar with that, which you probably are. I'll be out there for that. We had some recent shows up in South Bend, Indiana, so that was pretty cool. Picked up a couple victories out there. We even brought in El Snow on one of them and 2 Cold Scorpios, so that was a good deal. And some other locations that I anticipate performing in will be Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Palmetto, Florida. Now, those dates have yet to been put in stone, but I do have some strong leads on those, and working together with a couple promoters to put things together. And once it's in stone, I will, share the flyering and posters and whatnot on the internet, and let everybody know where and when.
Sweet.
And then as far as anything else is concerned, like self-defense seminars or appearances, I'm working on some stuff for that as well. I just did a speaking engagement in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, not too long ago, putting together another one of those. Even working on some stuff in Chicago again. So right now we're at the point where we're getting it all together, and I'd say within the next week or so, most of it will be concrete. But the date for Culver, Indiana, that's in stone, so we're ready to rock with that one, and I think this new year is going to be pretty awesome.
Sweet. I'd love to see you back in Fort Wayne, man. Like I said, eventually we'll see you back on the show. I know we talked about it last year. We're getting conflicts with schedules. Again, that's one thing that's crazy because now that I'm still working my shoot job, and then, you have your days we got to come in and getting stuff that are rearranged. Because, like I said, man, you're a hustler, man. I see you hustling all the time, no matter what you do.
Well, I appreciate that. You're doing the same thing. You got your hands in a little bit of everything. That's the way to be. You know, if you want to create opportunities, create multiple revenue streams, you got to have your hands in a little bit of everything, and that way you always have something to fall back on. It's a tough world, especially with all this inflation nonsense.
Yeah.
It's not easy for anybody. So if you do have your hands in a bit of everything during this time, my hat's off to you, because it's hard times right now.
That's very, very true. Now, Pro Wrestling King comes to Fort Wayne in August every year. Do you know that?
Kind of.
Maybe we can work out a plan where you can come in and do a show, and then we could probably do an interview with you again.
I'm always up for anything.
Oh, I know you are. Again, like I said, you don't give up on me, man. Like I said, we've been friends for years, man, and I still do low TV shows, but again, you see me, I'm hustling YouTube and doing it no matter what, man. It's just, you always believed in me, Brett. You never say anything bad about me.
No, I don't. And you know me, and I'm a very blunt, very firm kind of guy, in and out of the ring, in and out of the cage. So if I felt a certain way, I'd let you know, but I don't. And that's a good point, by the way. I won't eat up too much time dwelling on it, but I'll just say, a lot of professional wrestling talent, MMA guys, and that kind of thing, and not to knock anybody, but they've always had that kind of chip on their shoulder, or they feel the need to say something nasty about a fellow talent, or be nasty in some shape or form, and that's not the way to be. If you look at country music singers, they get along so well. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have a problem here or there, but for the most part, look how they get along. And I think professional wrestlers and mixed martial artists can learn from that. If talent like them can get along, why can't pro wrestlers and MMA? It's a very cutthroat business. And everybody's always trying to one up somebody. As a constant pissing contest. Excuse my language.
No, that's fine.
But everybody's always trying to be a tough guy, and I get it. But at the same time, we are going to walk over people sometimes, and not always intentionally, sometimes intentionally. That's just the way the business rolls. But there is a way to carry yourself professionally and not be insulting other people in the business, whether it's a referee, TV announcer, as yourself, just whoever. There's no reason to be like that unless somebody really gives you a good reason. Then you stand your ground 101%. But, I've had issues with guys in the past. I don't too often, but every now and then a knucklehead will mouth off to me or say or do something, negative. And I, most of the time I brush it off, but every now and then, I will have to put somebody in their place and let them know I'm not one to mess around with.
I completely get it.
What's that?
I completely understand what you're coming from.
Oh, yeah. I just don't like that kind of thing. So when you say that I've never put you down or criticized anything like that, no reason to. And even if I did feel a certain way, I'm not the type to drag people's names through the mud or do any kind of smear campaigns or any of that nonsense. It's just not my nature. It's not me. It's not my style. I have better things to do. And at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself when you're doing that kind of thing: is it helping you in any way? Are you making any money from it? More than likely, you're not. So what's the point?
That's very true.
But I won't beat a dead horse here. It is what it is. Hopefully, in the future, we see a lot better attitude and positivity in professional wrestling as well. Mixed martial arts, and I'd like to see a lot of changes. I don't know about you guys back in the studio there, but what are some changes you guys like to see in professional wrestling or mixed martial arts?
I don't know. The wrestling business is always evolving. I mean, like I said, now I'm starting to become. I'm always going to become a fan, but with working inside of the business, pretty much what's going to go on. But I'm becoming a fan again, especially with the storyline that's going on with the whole Rock thing again. It's bringing back that magic is what's missing for me. But again, like I said, now the magic is coming back. If that makes any sense, as a fan aspect of things.
Right. And I know you've done some officiating duties. You've been a referee on and off. Are you still doing that kind of thing?
I'm actually coming back to. I retired as a referee for Heroes and Legends back in a couple of years ago, but I got an opportunity to referee at Pierre's, and I've never refereed at Pierre's. I filmed at Pierre's, but I've never refereed at Pierre's, so I'm coming back for at least one more.
That's the venue I'm thinking about. I believe that's where I fought MMA before for Dan DeBeast Sever's promotion.
Yeah, it was because we got to interview. We interviewed you that day.
Yeah, see, always something going on. Too much to remember sometimes. But I see the stuff going on with The Rock as you talk about, and out of all the people I've met in the business, there's two people I've only seen in passing that I never really talked to too much, and that's The Rock and Hulk Hogan. I have met The Rock's mother on several occasions. She's watched some of my matches in Las Vegas. We've got along pretty well. But I do see what's going on with The Rock and Roman Reigns and all that storyline going on. But outside of that, even I'd like to see some other changes myself. I'd like the business to go back to more of that old school way, that strong style.
Oh yeah.
Where these matches don't look so. I guess we'll use the word scripty. There's a lot of talented guys and girls out there. Don't get me wrong. But the business seems like more of a soap opera these days, and it's more a lot of high spots and flippy kind of stuff. Where back in the day, a high flyer had his spot on the show. You had one Rey Mysterio on the show. You didn't have 27 of them. Now everybody's doing the same thing, and it just kind of, I don't know, it's not for me. But being a professional that I am, I'm always willing to adapt to different styles and different things and go with the flow, on the flip side. But I'm not a big fan of that product. I wish it would go back to the old ways of that strong style. And if you look at, even when it was the World Wrestling Federation, back in the 1980s, early 90s, that was some good stuff. Some people today say, oh, it's boring, but that was some good stuff. Today, it's just, they spend half the time, if not most of the time, on the microphone, and you get about 20 seconds of a match.
And they don't get it. It's crazy. But I like your aspect on things, Mal. Brett, we're getting ready to wrap this up with you. How can I get a hold of you if I wanted to book you for anything?
In order to book the BBM Ballistic Brent Myers, there's a couple of ways here. You can go through my private email, jcfury1@yahoo.com. I've taken bookings from a number of promoters, including the WWE, on that email. I've had that email for quite some time. So if nobody has it currently, let me repeat it, jcfury1@yahoo.com, and or Facebook. I won't give my number out.
No, don't do that. I've done that before. Trust me, don't do that.
No. But and or Facebook or Instagram. On Instagram, I'm under Crowd Pleaser 2525, and on the internet under the BBM Ballistic Brent Myers / Brent Brooks, my legal name. I'm well traveled, well experienced, cross-trained, mixed martial arts, professional wrestling, whatever you need. If you need an appearance, if you need a seminar for self-defense relating to anything like that, I'm definitely in. Just let me know, and we'll put something together.
And you're worth every minute of experience, man. Before we go, anything you're welcome. Anything to say to the fans before we wrap it up?
Yes, I appreciate the support, and keep on keeping on.
All right, Brent, thank you for your time once again. Like I said, we look forward to having you in the studio once again, and hopefully have you in Pro Wrestling King here in Fort Wayne. By the way, I want to throw this out right now. I want to see you wrestle Ryan Paradise. That's one of my dream matches. I would come out of retirement just to referee that match.
You got to get that signed and set up. I've had that pitched to me before, and I've had a couple other guys that people had in mind, so maybe that'll happen. We got to push for it.
I got you, bro. I'll hit you up later on.
All righty. Take care. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thank you, Brent. Take it easy, man.
You as well.
All right, later. That was Brent Brooks, one of my boys from, we met him through wrestling. Now, I got a phone call from my mom. I'm going to call her back. Again, we are Facebook Live. We are on TV. We don't go no scripts. We go full flow with reality. I'm going to call my mom back real quick. It's crazy, man. I'll end up doing a show. I should write a warning like, hey, I'm on TV. I'm doing something in the studio. But I have to keep my phone on because I got boys. I'm going to call my mom real quick. I'm going to get grounded. Find out what she wants real quick.
I got one thing to say. You're grounded.
Oh, damn. Darn. Now she's not answering the phone.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I'm taping right now.
I know. I just called my card. Somebody's been taking money off my fucking card.
Oh.
I had $70 on there yesterday, and I only got a little bit of change.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'll call you when I get done.
Hi, Mom.
Okay, well, I'm gonna see if I can't borrow some money from somebody.
All right, I'll talk to you then.
All right.
I love you, bye. Wow. Okay, I'm back.
You sure?
Yeah.
Looks like you never left.
Well, you know what I mean. Again, like I said, thank you, Brent, for coming on our show, man. Brent is full of knowledge and wisdom. I mean, you worked with a guy. He's very. Actually, I think you worked with Dan Severin's wrestling company too, didn't you? On camera for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, like he was saying, it's there's so much negativity with people always bad mouthing people and trashing people. Again, like I said, it's family even does that to family. I mean, you're supposed to have real family members, but yeah, you got family members that trash you. I mean, like with my Landis family, I made up with them when I still got somebody. Okay. One thing I want to throw out too is, I grew up poor. I'm still poor, and my other family members, they got money, and I mean they're not like rich, but again, here I am doing TV shows, and my other family members will go to my other family's events. They'll think them because they're like, oh, congratulations, you're a firefighter or a teacher, but yet I'm the first ever Landis that's made a TV history book. And they have acknowledged it in my comments, but they haven't shared the stats. Like, oh, I'm so proud of Jeff being in a Fort Wayne history book.
Right.
And it just makes me feel. It makes me feel sad. It's like even family members will make you feel like crap.
Mm-hmm. And I know, for me,
all right, time to shut off the phone. Oh, I restarted it, but go ahead.
I had I got that one family member, married into the family, thinks that his kids and, his family is completely better than the rest of the family. And it's like, no, it's not that, you're not better than the rest of the family, just because, you, budget your money and all that and everything. It's just I got into a situation, not going to go into details about that. And
I respect that.
my dad came to his sister and hey, do you think you can, is there any way that you can help me out with, this situation with Chris? And, her husband, my dad's, my aunt's husband was just like, well, no, that's on him, that's on Chris, and, he needs to figure that out for himself. And it's just and my dad had told me that, and I was just like, okay, you know me just like everybody else knows me, that I'm that type. I'm not that type of person that is going to come to you and be like, "Hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that?" You know, I'm that type of person that is going to try and figure that, figure that situation out by myself. And the last thing that I want to do is ask for help. And it's not like my pride per se, but it's just the fact that I'm trying to figure that, how to go about certain, things, certain things without really asking for help, but I will ask for help as a last resort. Now, I don't go to my aunt, all the time and be like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Or, like whatever. I've only gone to my aunt like one time and, I asked for money. But when I got paid, I turned right back around and I paid her back. So, and that was like the only time. Now, I'm big on family. If I see family that needs help with something, if I have it, I'll give them my last dollar to help them out.
Yeah.
And I've done that with my cousin, and I did that with my cousin like one time when I was younger. Same aunt. I was with her, went to go pick up her daughter, my cousin, from school, and stopped to get her something to eat. Hey, I think she was trying to pay like exact change, or she didn't quite have enough. I had some loose change on me. I pulled it out of my pocket. I said, "Hey, cuz, here you go." And before I finish, I know like the one thing with her was like I was kind of like that little kid that was kind of like afraid of her because of the fact that yeah, she's had a short temper, and I just didn't know how to, like, I guess, take it. But as I was growing up, I kind of realized, I'm like, that's just her personality, the way how she is. But like I was saying, when I gave my cousin the my loose change, I was like, hey cuz, here you go. And she's like, that's family. That's family, because it's like, family shouldn't be at other family members' throats. We should be able to help each other out, not sit there downgrade them, make them feel worthless, make them feel like crap. Hey, if this family member needs something, hey, man, I see you struggling. What can I do to help you? What can I do to, get you back on your feet? Regardless if it's, a place to crash, some money to get you through, whatever. My cousin didn't ask me to help her out. That was something that I did, and I didn't ask her to pay me back. It was just like, hey, we're family. I want you to know I got you.
And like we're talking about now too, is like, we talked about friendship earlier today. We talked about it when I interviewed you, and we're talking about it today as well on this show. It's like, family, that's like a lost trait. Again, like I said, man, I've got somebody that tells me that I'm obsessed with my boys. Like, I'm not obsessed with my boys. You got to understand is my father wasn't there for me, which I talk to my dad now, and I love my dad to death. But it's like, I try to be there for my kids no matter what. And I love my boys, I mean, they're getting older, and they make mistakes. Again, I'm trying to be the best damn dad that I could ever be, and I don't think I am, because sometimes I feel like, because before I've done shows over my boys and stuff like that. But again, like I said, I'm trying to bring back that family value. But again, they're in two different households. I mean, they don't stay not at my house anymore, because again, they're older, and then when they turn 16 or 14, they can decide that. Yeah, and it hurt me at first. I'm like, man, they don't want to really spend time with me. But now that, if you really see it, I still have as much time as I do with the boys as I did when I had them every other weekend. Because you see, Brett always reaches out to me. Like I said, JJ, I love you the same. I love my boys both the same. JJ is 16. Yeah. when I was 16, I didn't want to be around my mom or my dad.
Right.
And I get that. And Brett's 15. He's going to eventually get that the same way with JJ. But again, I got that closeness with JJ or with Brett than I do JJ. And back when JJ was younger, JJ and I were like close, inseparable. Now that he's older, it's like,
Yeah.
and now me and Brett's this way. And the thing with me and Brett, he doesn't remember this because, again, with going through the divorce, I'm not trying to bring that whole thing up because, again, I'm over. It's done. The person that she was with was toxic, and then Brett was young. Daddy, I hate you, Dad, blah, blah, blah. And obviously Brett don't remember that. But now it's crazy because Brett was telling me back then he hated me. And now that we're like close.
Right.
And it makes me feel good inside. I mean, like I said, I love both my boys the same, but I'm trying to have that bond with both of them. But again, me and Brett click. I mean, not only do we look the same, but our attitude is straight up the same.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying now. It's like that's like if like with you, I'm sure with you, you're gonna have the same family values as when you get. You know what I mean? When you have a family of your own.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's like you're going to be like, well, I want to do this right.
Oh, yeah. Because not too many, I don't really, share this with a whole lot of people, but, I've shared this like with you.
That's why I didn't want to say anything
Right.
correctly because, again, I don't, as friends, you don't want to sit there and tell another person this because it's like an STD. Hey, I know this about this person, and then it goes around saying this and this and this, and then you're not supposed to, another thing too about respect as well. Again, I know what you're saying. I know what you say, what you want to say. But as I'm trying to say with this, you got to respect your friends' boundaries. Because again, if they hear that something and it keeps going around in a circle, one thing I definitely do not like is you tell one person one thing and they go back and tell the other person something. If that's personal on yourself, you don't go back and tell somebody. Because again, I see that circle around. It's like, how would you like it if somebody said something about you that you don't want people knowing about you, and then it'd be like, oh, this person said this about me, and it's like, respect boundaries. Again, I'm open like a damn book. I mean, here to put it loosely, to put it instead of like a book, an adult way, I'm open like a hooker on Broadway. Like I said, this show is it's on a white forum. We haven't cussed, but again, we can still say how we feel. But
speaking of hookers, hi Rose. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
She's messing with you. But
like I was saying,
Chris is about to. I'm going to say this real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, but you're about to get a bombshell right here, right now, on the Chris Easley Entertainment Show, whatever, and co-op. But you're about to get a big bombshell, a huge bombshell. Are you sure you want to reveal it on the show today? Are you sure you want to? All right, I'll shut up.
But
It's on you now. Go ahead, Chris.
like I was saying, back in 2011, my dad, he's got a cell phone. He's cell phone illiterate. He just knew like how to make calls, and that was it. He didn't know how to text, none of that. Well, out of the blue, he hits me up through text, and it threw me off. I'm sitting there thinking, well, okay. Dad said, yeah. I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, I'm learning how to text. I'm like, okay. You just kind of, threw me for a loop because obviously didn't know if it was really you or not. But he's, he goes on and says that, hey, I'm sorry that I wasn't, there for you growing up. I said, Dad, look, I want to.
We got 15 minutes left. Okay, we got you. 15 minutes left.
I was just like, I said, Dad, look, I'm glad, I don't remember you and Mom being in the same room together. Both of you divorced, when I was real young. I don't remember. But I will say this. I'm grateful that you stayed in my life and you stayed around my mom for me to get to know you as a person and vice versa. I said, because if you weren't in my life, who knows where I would be at. I could be in jail, I could be in prison, I could be gang, I could be, in a ditch dead. You never know. And I said, but I will say this, I'm glad that you're still in my life to show me, to watch me to grow into the man that I am. I say, am I still growing? Yeah. But nevertheless, you're still in my life. And when I told him that, I made him tear up. And he was just like, yeah, you're definitely my son. I said, and I always will be, period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Now, do I have kids? No. Will I? Who knows? But if and when I do, yeah, I already have it set in my head that I'm going to be there for him.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make you feel. We're not trying to make you feel sad or down
no,
or anything on the
no.
show, but we're just letting you know that it's crazy on how family could also be unloyal to you and dishonest. But the thing that got me the most is, this may sound weird, twisted, but I've said this to you several times. I've said this on several shows. Again, sometimes when you do shows, people tend to forget what you talk about because obviously you talk about things, people move on. That's part of life. But so my family didn't really support me with some of the stuff that I did with TV. But the most craziest things that you guys out there, back from 1994, even all the bad stuff you heard from me, I had somebody named BT slandering me, saying all kinds of things. People badmouthing me, like back when you said Team TV used to badmouth me and stuff like that. And all my heartache, my craziness, all the stuff I posted on Facebook, you all stuck with me. You guys been there. You guys are like family to me because you guys were more of a family to me. You guys supported me more than my family did. I hate to say that. My grandma Faye, rest in peace, love you to death, miss you. You always supported me on what I did. But, just out of all the family members, you were the main supporter. And it's just crazy on how all these strange... There's a ghost in here. There's a ghost in here named Samsung. But as I was saying, with all you followers out there and fan support from back in the day, you guys followed me more than supported me more than my family ever did. And that's a sad thing. Especially when you don't even know half these people. Again,
Exactly.
Granted, speaking of that, I want to throw this on. We did a video announcement earlier, which will be leaked on Facebook, but this is 30 years is coming up. 30 years is coming up, man.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to do the Happiest Place reboot, but again, we want to make sure that we get things right.
Exactly.
Because when we did the Dose of Landis, the Happiest Place reboot, not the reboot, but the Happiest Place tribute show, it blew up.
Oh, yeah, it definitely blew up.
It blew up, and we had people say, "Oh, before then, oh, don't do it." But when we did that whole tribute show,
they flipped. Oh, that was dope. That was tight. Yeah, go ahead and do it. Blah blah blah. Well, where were you when, before we did it? You're on that negative, negative haterade.
Yep.
Oh, don't do it. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be worth it. Blah blah blah. We did it after it.
Yeah, and the thing is that, when you're on your vacation, the very last ever Happy the Hobo came in, Adrian Gunther, came in and passed the torch to me. You were there, Wesley. That was what he legitimately passed the torch to me, didn't he, Wes? He legitimately shook my hand and passed the torch to me. He says, "You're the next Happy the Hobo."
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, all right, why don't we do it the 30-year anniversary? Make it real good. But then 30 years came up quick. It's like, I want to do this right, because you're helping me out with that as well.
Oh, yeah,
you're going to be one of the producers of that program as well, along with Adrian. And I'm like, we got to do this right. Because, again, we're in that new generation era, which we talked about at the last show. We're at that new generation era. How is people going to react? Because people are like, well, is this guy trying to get close to kids? Because you got that people's mind frame.
Yeah.
Oh, is this
exactly.
is this guy trying to be creepy to kids? Is he trying to? And then we're that era to where kids don't hold back; their mouths are unlimited with saying whatever they say, whatever comes out of their mouth,
non-filtered.
So it's like, we want to have it to where how Happy had it. We want to bring kids on, but again, we're at that generation. It's like, can we do it? Because again, we're going to do that in 5 years. You heard me right? 5 years. 5 years are the 40 years. I don't know. I got a game plan what I want to do. No disrespect to Mike Fry, rest in peace, but I want to make Happy's Place like huge.
Oh yeah.
Like, you remember how they had Night Shift, how they had the guests and the crowd, and one of my game plans I would love to do for this. I'm revealing this out today and now. The auditorium downstairs, have like Happy's Place on stage, on a huge stage, huge platform. That would be. I know Mike had a good vision of doing it, but I want to do something like that. But I want to make sure it's right. So, when I think of storylines and I think of ideas and craziness for things, I'm like, okay, because we're doing a Happy Place thing. That's gonna happen. Timing isn't right for it, but it's gonna happen. I promise you. I want to make it really good. That's why we're not doing it the 30-year anniversary show. I know I did hype videos about it before, but things are changing. So what we're gonna do with the anniversary show, I ask people, and again, you're around me, and the most watched shows that people like me are Singing Boys to Men. You remember those days when I couldn't sing Worth Crap? I still can't sing Worth Crap. Is that 10?
Yeah, 10.
Okay. Are the pro wrestling? Now everybody loved the pro wrestling stuff. You know that because we saw it. The whole pro wrestling stuff blew up when we did the whole backyard thing because we were on news and stuff like that. And to this day, everybody remembers wrestling.
Yeah.
And I wanted to come back on my 30-year anniversary show to come back and wrestle, but I'm like, because in my head, I'm older now.
Right.
We're both older, but I'm like, could I actually handle doing a wrestling match? Could I actually? I'm not going to go for an hour long, not like I used to, but I want to do some like 20 minutes to 15 in my head.
Right.
Like, could I actually handle it? So I'm like, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fate in your guys' hands. My 30-year anniversary show, you get to choose. So the next show that we're going to do is my birthday show. We're going to show clips of me singing, clips of me doing a wrestling show. And with us showing all that for the show, it's like you get to see the retro stuff that I've done with the singing and wrestling, but it's you get to decide that me doing something brand new with me wrestling a brand new match and me singing the old songs. The very first show, I'm going to actually go back on there and sing the same songs that I sang when I was 14.
And I will say, probably about the only other thing that we're going to be missing is us tying you to the chair and getting a stripper for you.
That too.
Or a hooker.
I don't know if we can be allowed that, but
honestly, I think we'll get in trouble for that. And
if we did it here at Not at Access, I'm sure we wouldn't. But if we do it here,
yeah,
they're more lenient with the rules than what they used to be back in the day. Because back in the day, you'd be kicked off. So that's what I plan on doing. Is you guys get to choose the fate of my anniversary show. So the next show we'll be doing is my birthday show. I've already got the outfit picked out. You saw the shirt I got.
Oh yeah,
You saw the shirt I got. People's like, why do you dress so weird and so flashy? I'm like, because I want to. I plan on. This is an old school wrestling. You guys know me. I'm old school. I love the shirt, and it's like, you know what? I was gonna wear this for one of the old shows when we did for the top 50 celebrity drawings. They're like, I'll wear this, but I'm like, man, I got different outfits. So I've got outfits for days that I like to wear on the show. Just old school, flashy. People love the old school 90s stuff. That's why I want to do the wrestling show. But if you were to ask me what I want to do, I'm not voting until the last final vote. But I would, dang, was that boring, Chris?
Oh, no.
I know,
Never.
I'm just messing with you. But in my opinion, I would seriously love to wrestle again. But like I said before, I'm having my doubts where, like, could I actually survive wrestling? Could I do it without looking bad? Because you know, in wrestling, thank you. You know, in wrestling, you gotta have your cardiovascular. You can't be during the whole match. And I mean, I would love to wrestle because I would love to have that one match in a wrestling ring. I would love to. By the way, I've got already the DVD covers already set up for it. So as of today, after I get done with this, I go home, relax. I'm going to post a thing. As of today, we are starting the votes. Right now, we've got 2 people that's already voted, Brett and Nicole. Or I think, yeah, Brett and Nicole. Nicole chose me singing, and Brett chose me wrestling. So it's 1-on-1 right now. So as of today, after the show, when I get home and chill, we are going to be doing votes for what show you want me to see doing next, and I got the notebook paper already ready for it.
What does Nicole know? She likes the Cowboys, and she ended up messaging me saying that she was going to get a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader uniform for you. So, or wear that for you.
You wear it for me?
No, Nicole.
Oh, I'm like,
No,
Kristen wears it. Wait, what? Huh? What?
No.
Okay, I'm like, I don't see Chris that way. I love you like a brother, but not that physical type of way. No. But man, I thank you for allowing me to open up. Thank you for interviewing me because again, I'm so used to being on that disc.
Exactly.
But no, I appreciate it, man. Again, like I said, I made some people upset. Again, like I said, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta say what you gotta say.
Exactly. If you don't like it, get over it.
Yeah, like I said, I love my crew. Again, like I said, you know, sometimes we all gotta expand out. Sometimes, like I said, we're all still gonna work together, but I just don't want to hound you guys all the time for your time because again, we all have lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's times, man, I just don't want to deal with no people. Seriously, like there'll be certain days I don't want to deal with people. People call me, you know, I'm like, man, I don't even want to deal with nothing. I don't know. I work with certain people. Like I work with you, Wes, Paul. Other than that, I just have my limits. I'm like, you know, when I was younger, I loved coming down here every day. Now that I'm older, I'm like, you know, I just come here, get off work, get on a bus. Other than that, the passion is there. Thank you. Is that 3 minutes or 1 minute?
3.
My passion is still there. It's not as, how should I put it? I'm not half-assing it. I'm just older where I just don't see what the meaning of being here all the time. I mean, it's benefited me being on TV and meeting new people, but it's just some people I just can't tolerate.
Right.
I mean, you gotta respect my boundaries. I don't want to talk all the time. I mean, like sometimes I just want to go home and shut off my phone, but I can't shut off my phone because I got kids.
Yeah.
But again, I just people just need to start respecting my boundaries. You know, if I don't want to do nothing, then respect it. I mean, I respect somebody if they don't want to do anything. Like, okay, cool. You know, just show respect towards me. Again, like I said, I think I'm getting burnt out. I need a break. But people tell me, Jeff, you don't need to take a break. Like, you don't realize I need a break because it's like, what can I do next? We've done almost everything possible.
Right.
It's like, when you do something long time, it's like, what can you do next? Like, Wesley struggles still, and how long you been down here for? He's been here for 8 years. And he still struggles with ideas.
Right, yeah.
Rose's daughter's going to be starting a show. I'm sure she's going to just start doing stuff long term, but she's going to be burning out ideas. I'm sure, Rose, you do music, you write music sometimes and do stuff with your dad too, right? You've done it for a while too, and you get burnt out, right? It's like, you know, we have that point to where if we do something for so long, we need that break. But again, the reason why I don't quit or stop, because the fame game, you know this, everybody knows this. If you've been in a game for a long time, if you're gone for 1 to 2 to 3 years, they forget about you.
Yeah.
It's like when you pass away, people forget about you. Unfortunately. I mean, they'll have you in their hearts, but people will forget about you after you pass. Hate to sound blunt and honest, but it's the truth. Well, go ahead, Chris. It's your show. I'm sorry. I know we're down to 1 minute, but sorry.
Get that tone with me. No, we're going on for another hour.
Going on for another 2 hours. I'm just kidding. But I'm just being blunt and honest with things, man. People need to know. I get burnt out.
And that's what people, need to understand. Like for me, for example, I sit there. You sit there and told me that you need a break. My first response is, hell no, you ain't getting no break. Get your butt back in here.
Yeah.
But I'm joking, and I get it. You need that break. I honestly, I would say, hey, do what you got to do. Take that, time. Have your break. You ready to come back? Come back.
I think after the anniversary show is gonna be our season finale, and then I'll just take my long break. Because again, it's like in order for the happiest place thing, I just need to do some years off to where I like, oh, I'm relieved, but still have stuff in my head and write it down. But I just don't want to be force fed. We got to wrap this up like a condom.
I don't want to wrap it up like a condom.
Well, we got to wrap the show up then. But
no,
we'll go another 5 hours. Wesley, get off the thing. Get the studio for yourself. And I'm just kidding. You play somebody else. But no, thank you, Chris, for having me on.
No problem. It's always a pleasure. Till next time, stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Do it anyway.
Oh my God, I'm gonna do it anyway.
All right.
Like the shadow.